So, ladies and gentlemen, once again we meet after lunch. I know post-lunch sessions are always make you sleepy, but I'm sure this session is going to keep you wide awake. I am going to invite Mac Hutchinson, the co-developer of the digital development agency, to present a talk on Go Start Your Startup. I am sure you are going to enjoy this show all the way. So let's call and welcome Matt Hutchinson. And here is.
Hey,
Hi, Matt.
hey, thank you, Tommy.
Hey,
Thank
how
you.
are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. So how are you feeling? Pune is.
I love Pune. It's
Oh, great.
an incredible city. And actually, believe it or not, this is my first time back in Asia since I was a child.
Oh,
Yeah.
great. So you may be having memories also, fond memories of your childhood in Asia.
Yeah. I mean, since I was a baby, so I haven't been back since then. So this is a big deal for me. This is so you've been welcoming me as your home, and it's been incredible experience so far.
Yes.
Yeah.
For everyone listening, I met for the first time this gentleman in Boston, Gloucester. What a fabulous place that is.
Yeah.
One should go there and stay with the courtesy of Pillow and Tea.
Oh, Pillow and Tea.
So they would be absolutely a huge host for you in Gloucester.
Absolutely.
And I can vouch for this, that with their company, you will never feel out of place, out of your home. So without much ado, I give over this
Thanks,
to
Thank you,
please carry on.
Thank you. Absolutely. All right. That's Sabi Ghosh. He's the man. Just again, thank everyone for being here, kicking off the ThinklynDEMO for the first time. And this is a really incredible time, not only for Thinklyn, but for SKJ Juris. And we've been talking all week about how strategic global partnerships is everything. And strategically partnering yourself with the right people, the right organization, people that you can trust, is incredible. And so SKJ Juris has been an incredible partner for not only for Thinklyn, but all of our clients and different people and organizations that we work with. But before I kind of get into, go starting your startup, I do want to just tell you a little bit about my story. It was nice that Sabi just introduced me that way, because I have a long story and pathway that got me here. Believe it or not, I wasn't an entrepreneur. I didn't have that, I guess, in me naturally. It really came about from circumstances, and kind of readjusting, and to the point where now I feel like being an entrepreneur is such a big part of me. So believe it or not, I studied architecture in college, and so I didn't study business. I didn't study tech or finance or anything like that. It was actually design, and it was such a great experience, because design kind of opens the arts are an incredible thing, and I went into it thinking, oh, I'm going to be one of these star architects and do this great thing with these concepts and design incredible buildings. But when I went into it, the thing that I actually enjoyed the most was the people, right? Understanding the people. And when one of the first companies that I actually worked for was a developer, was a community developer, and I really loved just discovering the people and what makes them get up every day, and how to give them more value. It's about giving them better life experiences. And I think when you talk about putting more value into the world, that's where you find these things like market stress points, or when you're researching how to make the world a better place. It's being an entrepreneur is all about that, and I think that's a really important thing. And that's what got me into kind of this entrepreneurial route. I left architecture. I didn't want to work for the man. I really always had this individualism in me, and I wanted to be my own person, and start my own business. And so from a design background, I thought, well, what are my skills, right? How can I adapt to the economy? How can I adapt to the market? And it was graphic design. Design, whether it's people have these great ideas, whether it's great engineers, great scientists, people in tech, but how do they bring it to the market, right? They don't know about how to build a website. They don't know how to brand. They don't know how to make a logo. Well, I had those skills, and I knew, okay, people that have these great products, but they don't know how to sell. They don't know how to, show it off into the marketplace. And that's what brought me to New York originally. And the cool thing about New York was that what brought me there was actually my first client, SGW Collections. And they're a small little art. Uh, they do a lot of fine art in New York City. And it was this incredible story of this lady up on the Upper East Side who has this amazing collection of artwork from this artist Sam Blankoff. And this is what brought me to New York, was just wanting to help this woman who had this incredible product, this incredible artwork that the world needed to see. How do I help her? She just didn't know how to use social media. She didn't know how to create a brand. She didn't know how to use, make marketing campaigns. And I had these skills. I had the people skills. I had the tech skills. I had clearly the art and design background to help her do this. And that's what brought me to New York. So I really had nothing. I didn't even know where I was going to live. I didn't have an apartment. I just went to New York with my car and I talked to her. She gave me the job. And then that was my first client. And that's really Thinklyn. That's how Thinklyn started. When we talk about go start your startups, before it even was called Thinklyn, it was just me in my car driving to New York and a client called SGW Collections. And the cool thing about that was that it showed me you don't have to have the fancy, office to be an entrepreneur. You don't have to have like all this, funding from a VC or all these different things. You don't even have to have necessarily a lease to live in yet. You just got to go and have that drive and that passion to, you know what? I don't want to work for the man. I want to work for myself. And that's what drove me to New York. And when we talk about bootstrapping, we've talked about this word a lot this week. How to fund yourself and make yourself be able to live, because it costs. You got to eat. You got to eventually find housing, right? But what I did actually was use the public resources to my disposal in New York City, which has incredible resources. The public library, that was my office. I didn't have a fancy office, like I was saying. I used the public library. I used hotel lobbies for clients. I really bootstrapped it the old school way, and that was everything. And then not only just bootstrapping as far as office space and meeting clients, but I also worked in retail. And everyone looks down at retail jobs. Everyone looks down at like food service jobs and that they're below you. They're not. It's again how you frame your mind to get to the end point, right? There's a means to the end. And I think you have to love the means. You have to love that grind. And I think for me, not only did it help my sales skills and my people skills being in retail, but it, again, funded the purpose of starting my new startup. It got me to be able to pay the rent. It got me to be able to, buy enough groceries to get me to the end of the week. And so that's when we talk about, you see the suit, you see the nice branding, right? This is an illusion here. It's a difficult thing to start your startup. It's not as easy as go start your startup. And I know this is the title of my presentation, but it's a lot. Everything behind the suit, everything behind the nice fancy branding is hustle, and it doesn't look pretty, but that's the grind. And you have to love that. So this presentation really isn't about, just go start your startup. No, it's like, to go start your startup, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be, a nice fresh start and nice, designer suits. It's sleeping in your car. It's, taking the trains to new clients. It's all the hard stuff that comes with it. So SGW Collections, the branding fine art in New York City, special place in my heart, because that's what brought me to New York. That's what started my journey to eventually starting the company that is now Thinklyn. And that founder, we've had quite a journey. She's still with me to this day, and I hope to always have her in my portfolio there. Now, there's I want to talk about this other company, Arc Power. And Arc Power is this incredible solar company that does global impact through clean energy. and they're sustainable, they're affordable. They bring renewable energies to the rural parts of Africa. And this is an incredible client that I think for Thinklyn to take on because it shows so many things that we're trying to do as far as revolutionizing how market is in this digital age. You got to think so differently when it comes to marketing these companies. And something that Thinklyn specializes, again, we're a startup for startups, and we do things differently. We're not going to do it like the big fancy agencies and marketing agencies. We do it a little bit differently, and we do it through showing what the product does. And this is something that all marketers should know. You don't want to sell the product. You want to sell what your product does. Now, but we got to take that to a whole nother level when it comes to these new startups. So with Arc Power, what we're doing is we don't talk about the product that much, which is mini grids and solar energy. We talk about the impact. The impact. What is the impact of this company? What is the impact of this brand? And we're trying to make this brand global and people to understand this brand. You know, telling people, oh, it's a solar company is not going to do it. Showing them the impact is what we've done with Arc Power. So the social impact that they do, they uplift communities, they connect communities to the power for the first time. And then also the climate impact, because climate change is real, folks, and it's happening. And this is the issue of our time that for some reason, our governments aren't talking about enough, but also aren't doing enough. And the cool thing about Arc Power is that is their product. They are doing that, and they're having impact, not only at the social, amazing community development level, but also at the climate and global level. And so we talk about this with their content. How do we do this with our content? We want to tell stories. We want to bring people into the fold, into the movement of the impact, the social impact movement, the climate change impact movement. And that's what we do. We try to tell these stories of how much we're impacting the communities that we're providing for, but also trying to solve the horrible situation that we have with climate change. So that's Arc Power. And I think flowing from Arc Power, I think the way that connects back to why we are here in Pune today is ties all the way back to SKJ Juris, because what we're doing with SKJ Juris is really important for all our clients, whether that's SGW collections, which I talked about with the fine arts in New York City, or whether it's with Arc Power, with the content that we're doing with the social impact. And with the partnership with SKJ Juris, we're able to take advantage of their incredible global capability center. And when we talk about global capability centers, this is not only a physical space, but it's a partnership with an incredible company like SKJ Juris that's going to allow you to not only provide better services to your clients, but also to be able to scale that. And so what we did within that capability center is within Thinklyn create our own global creative center, also called the GCC. And what this global creative center does is video editing. Now, why video editing? Well, attention, my friends. Attention is the number one asset right now. It's not, people want to talk about AI, people want to talk about whether it's, oil or energy or all these massive industries, right? No, the number one asset right now is attention. And how do you gain attention? It's through content. And what's the best content out right now? Video content. And what is everyone scrolling when it comes to the TikTok or the Instagram Reels or any of these other amazing apps and platforms out there? It's coming back to the video content. So what every one of my clients needs, and what honestly any startup that's coming on up into the marketplace, they need video content. And this is something that we built within the capability center at SKJ Juris. And not only does it provide incredible capabilities for our video editing services, but allows us, as we scale and as our clients need more services, we're able to scale within that. So again, back to here and what we're doing in Pune, this is just one of these things where if we go back to what I was saying at the beginning of my story, okay, you're an individual, right? But how do you, as an entrepreneur or a solopreneur, you still can't do it yourself. You need that strategic partner. So it always ties back to that strategic global partner. And that's what SKJ Juris is for Thinklyn. And this new opportunity with the Global Creative Center has been incredible. And we're going to get back to SKJ Juris in a second, but I want to continue this journey down some of our clients, because I think our clients are Thinklyn. When you talk about your own company, you should be talking about your clients, because at the end of the day, your startup is who you serve and your clients. Now, one of the coolest stories I get to talk to today with you guys is BCFF. What is BCFF? Well, back when we first started Thinklyn, I started an account on X, and I'm a big Boston college football fan. Now, college football is taken off in the United States. It's basically a professional sport, everything from NIL to the transfer portal, and it's pretty much that fifth professional sport in the United States. I started this account, BC Football Fans, on X from scratch, completely nothing, to really explore this fan-based content, because content now is so about being authentic and real, right? And it's so more about being just authentic with everything you're doing, but direct to the consumer. And this is something that we wanted to test out, and within a niche category. Because every time that you're trying to market to someone in the marketplace, if you don't have this niche category, you're not going to be able to, it's going to come across as not connective and not authentic. So we started this account 3 years ago, and we're already up to 40,000 followers. And again, it's within this niche category, within college football in the United States. And I think this is a perfect example of where content is right now, and where, if you're a startup, how much opportunity there is out there. And I want to again just talk very quickly to that sports fan out there that is maybe thinking about being a solopreneur, an entrepreneur. I mean, I'm telling you, I 3 years ago had no followers on Twitter, nothing, and now I'm officially credentialed media member in the sports media sector. I go to all the BC Football Fans and cover the team and all this stuff, and it really shows you how, if you just put your mind to it, you really can accomplish anything in this world. And that's this brand within Thinklyn, BCFF, is exactly that. It shows how, if you just put your mind to it with a little bit of hustle and stay consistent within your category, you really, the sky is the limit. Now, another aspect to what BCFF has done for Thinklyn, and shows to our clients what is possible out there in the marketplace, is that we strategically partner ourselves even within our niche category. So I want to give a big shout out to one of my partners within this brand, Brett Ryder. He was actually the founder of Eagles Daily, he's another leader within this community of Boston college football fans. And what we did at Thinklyn with BCFF is we partnered with him. Instead of being a competitor, which would a normal competitor, you have another sports media member out there, and you have me. Instead of being like a rival and being a competitor, what we decided to do was actually partner. So we joined each other's accounts and followers. So we created one big community in this niche. So we made this niche even stronger. And what came out of it was not only extreme growth into over our 40,000+ fans and followers, but new brands popped up on top of that. So through that partnership, we actually were able to launch a merch shop online to get other forms of income for us. We also were able to launch a podcast, which we do a weekly podcast on everything, which again, another way to monetize our following online. So again, it always flows back to that strategic partnerships. As much as there's opportunity to be that lone wolf and make your own path and be that entrepreneur or solopreneur, it's about the only way to do that and to be that individual is to partner yourself with the right people. And I think that brand within Thinklyn has been an incredible story when it comes to just, again, if you have a passion, I tell you, all entrepreneurs, lean into that, lean into your passion, because the number one thing that's going to get you followers and traction online is being real and being authentic and having that consistency. and being passionate about that. People can tell. It comes through the phone, no matter what medium, whether it's video or tweeting or online blog posting. They're going to be able to tell your passion. So I would say whatever you're passionate about, go in full on. So what's the secret behind all these startups? I kind of talked about strategic partnerships, but I think the number one thing that we really talked about was content. And I think for Thinklyn, this is the number one thing that we try to do for our clients is come up with a strategy that's going to build your community through strategic content to create real growth. Because there's no easy pathway to creating and building a real community that's going to really engage with your product. You have to create really just real content, and that's why you see now these traditional firms out there within marketing starting to die off because the game's changed. People aren't reading the magazines, people aren't reading the big publications to get their information now. They are going to the CEO. They're going directly to the people in charge of the product line. They're trying to cut through all the weeds and the corporate speak and all of that. They want to go directly to the source. And that's what we try to do with our content. We try to show, whether it's with Art Power, we try to show the social impact immediately right into your phone, bring it right into your home and show you what we're doing. Whether it's with SKJ Collections, we show you exactly what you're getting. We show you the story. We show you the beautiful art, but we tell you the story behind the artist. We tell you the impact that he had within modern art and all of these different things. BCFF, we don't talk about, necessarily just the football program. We talk about the fans. We get the different aspect. What is the thing that makes sports so much fun? You get to go with your friends. You get to experience with your friends. You get to experience the game day experience, right? We try to show the fan content. So it's about, again, creating that really authentic content to your audience for your startup to really build your community. Because again, the only way you're ultimately going to be able to sell your product, whether it is a piece of artwork, whether it is a solar panel or connecting to the grid, it's going to be through that content and through that community. So build that community first, and then that produces sales. Now, strategic partnerships. SKJ Juris has allowed us to provide all of our clients that I just talked about today with this content that I just talked about. Now, the biggest thing about the GCC, and when I talk about the Global Capability Center that we built here in the Creative Center that we built here in the Capability Center at SKJ Juris, the number one thing that we get from it as a startup, and again, I talk about individuals or small firms that are trying to compete at that global level with the big dogs, right? How do you do that? That seems like an impossible task, right? Well, not if you strategically partner yourself with someone like SKJ Juris, because not only are we able to outsource some of our services and raise the bar on the quality of our services, but we can scale. Now, if I'm an entrepreneur, right, and I have a skill set, maybe it's building websites, right? Maybe it's video editing. If I only have 24 hours in the day and I gotta sleep and I gotta eat and I gotta do all these different things, there's only so much I can scale that service. If I'm just doing it, there's only so much labor I have, whether it's in a day or within a week, within a year. If you're an entrepreneur and you're thinking about your company, and you're thinking about, how do I grow this company? How do I scale this company? You need to find a product, right, that you can scale, or find the right strategic partner with the right capability center to then be able to hone in your services and scale within that. And I think that's the number one thing and the number one value that SK Juris provides. And I mean, I think for Thinklyn, this is one of the most important developments that we've had in the last 3 years, is this creative center. Because again, not only does it give better services to our clients, video editing, and not only does it give better quality content and gets their brands better and creates more sales for my clients, right? We can scale it. Thinklyn can scale that not only for us, but we can scale our clients' goals. We can scale our clients' sales. We can scale our clients' community. We're building communities, we're building brands, and ultimately, we're trying to make more impact and provide more value into this world that we're living in. And again, it flows always back to that passion you have, and then strategically partnering yourself with people that had that same passion, that had that same drive, that had that same goal, those ethics that I talk about when it comes to, I really care, I'm passionate. I want to provide my clients with that same mindset, that same service, that same growth. And it flows back again to that passion and that strategic global partnership. So again, I end this on go start your startup. It's not as simple, and I hope I've made that clear as just go start your startup. It's not a big deal. No, it's a big deal. It's very difficult. It takes a lot of time. There's a lot of failure with starting your startup. It's not pretty. It is maybe moving to a new city. It maybe is, finding that client that, I don't know, fine art. Okay, I'll figure it out. It's about really, again, finding that passion within you, and enjoying that journey, because it's a long, not so pretty journey. But if you're someone that has the want to, again, put more value into this world, and help people out, that's what we do. And that's the biggest thing that Thinklyn is about. Is we're a startup for startups. We want to fight for the little guy. We want to provide people like myself that are individuals, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, small firms, the ability to make as much of an impact as Google or YouTube or Amazon or these big companies. It's possible if you do it with the right partners and with the right mindset. So again, thank you, everyone. And as always, go start your startups.
So thank you, Mac, once again. So as I say, united we stand with Thinklyn and SKJ. So before we part,
Yeah.
I just want to have one query.
Of course.
What's the USP of Thinklyn, you think?
Yeah. So we're a digital developer.
That's right.
We're a digital developer.
First.
We're a startup for startups.
Second.
And we want to help build your brand.
Lovely. Third. So that's the USP of Thinklyn.
Yeah.
Now, where do you see Thinklyn 5 years down the line?
Oh, well, 5 years down the line. Honestly, I'm one of those guys that kind of, is focused on tomorrow. But if it's important to have a vision as a founder. And I think our vision for us is focused on scaling. I think that's why we're so focused right now on the Global Creative Center, because we want to be able to make more impact and provide better services for our clients. So how do we do that? I think that relies on your incredible capability center, and that's why we're really excited to be here this week.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So we can all see how Thinklyn has seen its growth in the next 5 years and how we can stand together united. So hail Thinklyn and hail SKJ Juris.
Thank you, Savi.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And I just want to point out to everyone, of course, you can go to our website, Thinklyn.com. Please send me. I'm one of the co-founders of Thinklyn, but we're constantly checking our messages. So send us any questions. And also, if you're a startup, we're here to help. Anything that we can help. With anything I said, because we're here to help hold your hand through the process. We've done it. We're going through it right now. So reach out to us, and we're here to help you along. So again, thank you. And I actually would love to take questions right now. I think we actually have a good amount of our team from the SKJ Juris as well here. So I'm happy to answer any questions in the audience.
So my question to you,
Yeah.
Mac, my name is Gerard McCabe. I'm an attorney. I work with you a lot. My question to you is, other than the fact that SKJ is just a talented bunch of guys that provides a real tremendous service to any sort of startup, what are the other reasons that you could share with the public at large as to why they should be looking, if they're looking to start their startup, they should be looking to utilize SKJ's talent, other than the fact that they provide a tremendous product.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't think of. There's so many amazing things I could say about SKJ Juris, and I think it comes down to the people, right? I think Sabi, you know, Pankaj, everyone here is incredible, and being here in India is just an incredible opportunity for us. I mean, again, when you talk about the difference in culture, you don't feel that when you work with them. They're incredible people to work with. They got the same they have the same character and mindset and ethics as us. And I think for us, that's the biggest thing that draws us to them. And that's not even talking about the intangibles. As far as India, you get the time advantage, you got the cost advantage, but then you got the people advantage here, and the incredible team and the talent. So there's so many advantages there that give value to Thinklyn, and by default, then all this new value to our clients. And I think that's the number one thing.
So your digital editing, like you arbitrage your currency, and that makes the digital editing much more affordable for startups that are struggling financially, that they don't have the resources.
And the number one thing and most difficult thing to develop right now is the content pipeline. And I think for people in the United States, it's such an expensive endeavor right now, and it takes a lot of time and money. But let's try to reduce that, right? That's what the Capability Center does, and us creating this global creative center is it saves time, it saves money. We've built it out, we've done the hard work, and now we're ready to provide that to our clients in the United States or all over the globe that are ready to take advantage of this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
No, thanks for the question. Another question here from my good friend Jerry Keogh.
So AI, it's all over the news. It's going to replace this. It's going to disrupt that. It's going to get rid of coders. It's going to do A, B, C, and D. The robots are going to be running the world. How do you, as a digital developer, deal with the AI issue, and how can you help clients to own the disruption that AI can cause?
Fantastic question. That's something I did not talk about in this presentation, so I'm glad you brought it up. AI is scary, folks, right? People are scared of it. There's a lot of unknowns out there. Things are popping up, popping down, going sideways. We don't know what's going on, right? Well, I'm going to be the one to tell you, actually, I think you got to lean into this, because if you're not on top of this thing, it might eat you yourself. And I think when it comes to artificial intelligence, there's so much value there, and especially when we talk about entrepreneurs and solopreneurs. It's like having a team at your disposal. Like, if you use it the right way with the right ethics, you have a team of copywriters when it comes to ChatGPT. You have a team of maybe some content creators when it comes to Sora and all these different different programs and AI platforms. So you really got to take advantage of it. And I think everyone's an expert that's just playing with it. I'd say go out there and start prompting. That's one of our biggest things here at Thinklyn is our whole team is obsessed. There's a new thing that comes out, we're right on top of it, because right now the people that are on top of it today are the experts out there. There's no true experts on AI. It's really just the people that are using it, and the users are the experts. Sometimes even the companies themselves, the users are more of the experts. They're the ones working with it and playing with it. So I would say, especially to entrepreneurs, people, solo practitioners, or anything, with a small team, there's so much advantages when it comes to using these AI tools. So be on top of it, because if you're on top of it, that's with every major disruption we've seen in the marketplace. As long as you're proactive and you're adaptive to the market, that's how you're gonna, survive. And I think that comes back to what you talked about in your incredible demo, my friend, which is the resiliency. And I think that right now is AI. I think that's how you're gonna be resilient, is taking advantage of these tools, within AI, and using that to help you, grow your own business. Yeah.
So as I understand, you say AI depends on the natural intelligence. So artificial intelligence is depending on natural intelligence. So artificial intelligence should always be the slave, and natural intelligence should be the master, not other way around.
Yes, that is the hope for the future too, Sabi. I know as much as I say lean into AI, there are legitimate safety concerns when it comes to it. But the more important thing that you just pointed out is that when we're using these tools, you still are the creator, right? The whole thing with these tools is that you're prompting yourself. Now, that's why I think prompting is one of these things that crosses all industries, whether it's tech, whether it's law, whether it's marketing. Learning how to prompt is learning how to do all those different things, and to be cross varied across these different industries. So yeah, you're the one putting it in, and again, the better the input, the better the output. And I love that concept because it's so true when it comes to artificial intelligence, but it's so true when it comes to real life as well. The more you put into it, whether that's the prompt or your regular daily life, the more you're going to get out of it. And I think that's the important thing to note with this, is when you're scared of it, is I think take the time to learn it, because the better that you are at prompting, the better you're going to get back, and that's going to help you form your next decision. And that's very similar to life. I think, again, every decision you make, go all in on it, learn it. Even if you fail, then you learn real quick, and then you can make that next decision a little bit better. So I know I went a little off the AI trail there, but I think that's really important to note, is that again, the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it.
So it sounds like the human touch is critical if you want to really kind of use AI for its intended purpose of just to add value.
Yeah, the human touch is everything. I'd say the human touch is important across, that's like one of the biggest themes, I think, when we talk about ethics within tech, ethics within marketing, is how do you keep it humane? How do you keep it human? All the content that we create and everything that we're doing, we try to get it back down to the human level. It's very easy to go off when you're trying to create a global brand or things like that, and you're trying not to offend or really stay in your lane. Sometimes it comes across as robotic. Sometimes it's very easy for humans to get robotic, but and then you want to do the opposite. You want to use these robots to help you make human connections, and there's a great way to do that. Again, it comes down to being very thoughtful with your actions, very thoughtful with your words, in your inputs, and that's what's going to make that next leap to that human connection.
Tell me, on your global creative center that you have here in Pune, is part and parcel of what you're doing is taking products that are coming out in the market like AI and developing product lines that would help your client base, and then frankly, people out there who need help, like law firms, small law firms. I'm very open to advocating for the SME law firms and for the solo practitioners who might be in a small town. And when they hear you talk about your trips over to India and Taipei and all these other places, well, that's good for Mac, but that's not me. How do you use the Global Creative Center in product developments for small law firms in order to help them enhance their capabilities of operating, prosecuting their work, and also gaining new business?
Yeah, so that's a really, really interesting question. I would say for if you're a marketing firm or a digital development firm like Thinklyn is, you got to think through your process to the end, and the end is always publishing. So when we talk about this new development we're doing with the Thinklyn Publishing House, is it really everything kind of falls under that, because when you're talking about your client and you're talking about building their brand, it comes down to, and building your community too, it comes down to, okay, how are you going to create that content? How are you going to form those better relationships and form that better community? So yeah, I would say, my friend, the capability center too. I just want to bring that up one more point. it allows, again, us to scale. And I think for us at Thinklyn, scaling those products, not only for people within tech, it hits the note on law as well. Because when it comes to publishing, you're trying to do as many different forms of medium as you can. And I think when say like a solopreneur that wants to get new clients, and you're trying to build a community for them, there's different forms of content for different purposes. And I think different values come across depending on that form of content. And the GCC allows us to do is build out those different forms, whether it's short form content, long form content, podcasts, blog posts, white papers, ebooks. These are massively different forms of content. But if you have it on like a topic like such as legal practicing, there's different things that people are going to be able to grapple with depending on the form of content. And sometimes you need those different forms to grab the attention of people, depending on whether it's the type of learner they are, or the different taking advantage of the different platforms. So I think when it comes to marketing these days, and digital marketing specifically, there's so much that is involved with the different forms of content. And I think that's and it's not easy. That's a lot of work. So what the Capability Center allows, especially in Pune here, allows us to do is create a form of content and turn it into a bunch of different other forms of content, whether that's, again, blog posts, videos, short videos, ebooks, and different things like that. And I think that's really important when you're building a community, because your community is going to want to see it's going to want to see content, and it's going to want to learn in a different variety of ways. And you can really hit new audiences based on your new forms of content.
So it sounds to me like if with your brand new publishing house, that if I'm a lawyer who is doing closings and just sort of getting by in a small company, a small law firm, or basically maybe even a solo practitioner, but I really do love the law, and I love certain actions. I like to comment on things. I could literally write a book about an international arbitration, even though I'm not doing this in my small town, and the pros and cons of drafting contracts that have that language in there, that dispute resolution will be in the form of arbitration. I can actually draft a book on this, write this, and expose my knowledge through the offices of Thinklyn's company, and particularly a publishing house. And that opens up a new paradigm for lawyers, doesn't it?
It really does. And I think, when we take people's, it's really about taking people's work, and they don't know what to do with it, right? They have an incredible product or a good body of work, and they don't know how to get it to the market. They don't know how to get people to see it. And what we do is, we take that body of work and we say, let's put it into an ebook, and let's put it on a platform that has all these eyes. Oh no, let's take that content and that material and make a podcast out of it. And maybe we use an AI tool and we do it that way, or maybe we get some incredible young folks to make a podcast about it and talk about your content, or we take your material, we start a blog on it, we start a website, we do these different things, but people aren't going to see it. You might have again, we say this with all our products, and the law profession is no different. You could have the best lawyer with the best material and the best body of work, and he's done all these incredible cases, but if it's just sitting there on his laptop or sitting there in a bunch of papers in his office, no one's going to see it. How do you get that? How do you express that into the world? And what Thinklyn does is we build websites, or we build nice pitch decks, or we build we publish your ebook, or we publish your your blog posts, so the world can see it, and we again help you visually tell that story, whether that's with our own branding suite, whether it's building your website, whether it's creating a podcast for you, whether it's making doing your video editing, get that content out. So I think that's the important thing to know.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.